Good evening, everyone. Hi there. It's about 5 after 7, so we better get started. My name's Deb Neely, and welcome to Sloan's Lake Citizens Group. It's nice to see you all. Before I forget, I want to tell you that there is a restroom here, and there's the steps right over there, and you just see the steps, and you go down the steps, and you'll see the restroom. So, it's good to see you. And we have some new faces too, so thank you very much for coming. Tonight, we have a report by Fernando Abbud, and he's going to talk to us about the upcoming Northwest Area Plan, which is a long-term effort to create a shared vision, 20-year vision, for the Regis, Inspiration Point, Berkeley, West Highland, and Sloan's Lake communities. Without further ado, would you like to go ahead and get started? I forgot to mention there's Tom Brunn. He's the vice president. That's next to him is Sue Knight. She's on the board. Jennifer Qualteri is in the back, and so is Angela Medberry. Oh no.
I think online people are seeing the screen, but I think maybe we put
Sometimes it takes a while, so you agreed to
assume like it's already. I think here we have like if you click maybe on the Zoom call.
I'm just going to stop sharing, but normally you can. It's, you know what, it might be taking a while. This happened to us our last meeting too. It took a while for it to show up on the screen. There's that, but yeah. Huh. It says that you have started. There you go. There you go.
Hi everybody, my name is Fernando. Thanks for having me here. I'm a group planner, city. And I'll be the project manager for this upcoming plan. Closer to you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It has to be.
That works. Okay. So for it's called the Far Northwest Area Plan. And I'll go through a little bit of what it is, what's planning in general, just like what's the atmosphere of November, then the process for this specific plan, and then how to get involved. So the Far Northwest Area Plan includes the communities of Sloan's Lake, your community down here, all the way to Regis up in north of I-70, as well as West Highland and Berkeley. So what is neighborhood planning? I think a lot of us, I don't know, we've been part of a different planning process. Maybe you guys interacted with the planning process that happened a couple of years ago for the communities east of a federal. So that was the near Northwest area plan. So it's something similar, but in general, I think you all know about how we plan stuff, and I like relating it to just planning a trip or like a vision with a group of people, right? We all have different ideas of where we want to go. So planning is similar to that, urban planning. We are creating that shared vision of where we want to go, and we are all gonna have different ideas of how that looks like. But through the process, the goal is to create that shared vision. And then through the next 20 years, we can try to figure out the tools or how to implement that vision in the process. So a planning, it is that shared vision. As I mentioned a couple of times, I think that a shared word is a key element in this process. We'll be working with your neighborhood and the other neighborhoods in the area as well. Just some elements of why it's important. This is just an image of the Commons Park area down there by Union Station, how it looked, and then through different planning processes and implementation, now it's part of that neighborhood down there that has different land uses, connections, businesses, and planning. It's also relevant, like it can be more unique to the area and take into account different unique needs of each neighborhood as well. And something that I do want to talk about is this planning effort is not about a specific project or a specific area. It's a long-term planning effort. So we're going to be thinking and looking about 20 years into the future. So in order to do that, I just like looking 20 years into the past, like where were we 20 years ago in 2006, 2007? And a lot has changed in those 20 years. I think 2007, that's when the first iPhone came out. So a lot has happened in our neighborhoods, in the world. And just thinking about it, where we're going to go here 20 years into the future. There's a lot of unknowns, but I think the goal is to create this vision that it is flexible and adaptable through the unknowns and the world's going to go. So plans do create that shared vision, but they don't set the budget. Like part of this process is not creating a budget or setting budgets for specific projects. We do help the city prioritize different priorities and elements, but we don't create specific designs or infrastructure. And we do document different design elements of what we like to see in the built environment and development, but we won't be rezoning or implementing any rule changes as part of this process. That might happen later throughout different implementation strategies. So planning in Denver, we do have, as part of Denver, we have a comprehensive plan that talks a lot about different topics and different elements. And then underneath that, we have different unique plans for different topics. We have Blueprint Denver that talks about land uses and transportation. We have the Department of Transportation has Denver Moves Everyone. Denver Moves Everyone, that it's more the transportation plan. The Parks Department has its own plan. So what we want to do through this effort is provide refined guidance through that citywide guidance, see how it's being applied to our neighborhood, and then provide different refined recommendations and address unique neighborhood issues or priorities. We do that in Denver through what we call Neighborhood Planning Initiative, or MPI for short. You might have heard about this initiative. So this plan is part of that. We are in phase number 4. We're part of the green phase. All the other phases, it's what's been completed previously in Denver. So we are getting to that midpoint of our goal of having a neighborhood plan for the entirety of the city. Through this neighborhood planning process, we look at different elements of land use, mobility, and quality of life. This becomes kind of our main chapters in the plan. The land use element and chapter, we look at stuff such as like how buildings look, what's allowed, what types of uses are allowed where, how the intensities, the heights, the mix of uses, all that stuff regarding more land use elements, housing, businesses, and recreation. The mobility chapter provides guidance and looks at connectivity. Where do we have some barriers? How do we move around in different modes, whether that's pedestrian, transit, vehicles. So that we'll look at that in this chapter. And then quality of life, infrastructure, this chapter will look more about the other elements that make a complete neighborhood, such as it can be all the way from trees and culture, community services, community spaces like this, all the other stuff that is not specifically like mobility or a specific land uses, but that impact our day to day. And then within that, we also look more specifically at each neighborhood. So we'll look at Sloan's Lake more specifically, and then provide specific guidance and priorities. As we talk to all of you, will help document that into a specific neighborhood chapter. So that's kind of like high level what the plan is. So, and then we'll look at the plan process. This process usually takes about 18 to 2 years, 18 months to 2 years. So it takes about 18 months to 2 years. We're just getting started. We're kind of on that first initial phase. In the first phase, we call it understanding the area. So it's just getting to understand the area. On our side, doing some specific more research, data analysis, all that stuff, and then hearing from you initially as well, and checking out the citywide guidance that we have. Then moving into phase two, we look at those opportunities that we hear from you and the citywide guidance. And this is where the kickoff of the project actually starts, the more public kickoff. And we share some of those initial opportunities. And then we hear from all of you how that's looking or the refinements. But then we put it all together into a first draft, which in terms of months and stuff, that will be happening next year. So we have all this year to start thinking about those opportunities. And then next year, we'll start putting it together into an actual plan draft, a document. But then we'll go through 2 different phases of review through the next year. And then early on 2028, we'll start kind of the adoption process for the plan. So it takes a while to get there, but we're kind of not even started there. I think we're just getting ourselves organized, but we wanted to kind of hear and share these ways to start getting involved. Usually through this process, you all are involved with the community. We also form an advisory committee that I'll talk a little bit more in a bit. City Council, we work with Council District 1, we work in this process. We have our project team at the city in all the different departments in the city as well. And then we work with consultants for different expertise that we don't have in-house. So how to get involved throughout the process, there's going to be a lot of different ways. Each of those phases will have different opportunities of engagement. There's going to be community workshops. We will be attending existing community events. So if you know of any, please let me know. We'll have opportunities for surveys, maybe some focus groups, depending what we start hearing from people. We'll be working with community navigators to try to get the word out to people that might not attend events like this or more official community workshops. And as I said, we'll be working on forming the advisory committee as well. So that's going to be throughout the process, but for now, I have 3 ways for you guys to start getting engaged with the process. We have our website live right now, and up there we have 3 different ways. The first one is just signing up for emails and newsletter, so you're keep updated with the process as we start getting more activities and ways to get engaged. The second one is answering a quick survey. We have 3 quick question survey up there. Basically, what ideas do you have for your neighborhood for the next 20 years or in the future? What do you like about your neighborhood? And then what are your concerns? So that's kind of like a quick short survey to get engaged right now. And then we're also recruiting for the advisory committee, which this is a group that will be composed about from 15 to 20 people from all the neighborhoods in the area. So from Sloan Lake all the way to Regis. I was talking about, we're going to meet at key parts of the process, a total of nine meetings throughout this 18-month process. And the purpose of this group would be advise the city team in community engagement, what we're doing, and provide guidance in that perspective, as well as helping us reach other groups or people that we're not reaching through the process. So they'll be mostly kind of helping us guide the process as we move along. Once we collect information, we'll bring it to that group to help to make sure what we're hearing from our feedback is what they're hearing from their community. So that's kind of going to be the main job and work in this group. And right now we have an advisory committee interest form online. Then if you go there, you can fill it out. We're going to have it open until the end of May to try to get people that are interested, and then we'll select around 15 to 20 people from that group of people that fill the interest form, and then we'll start meeting at key points on the process. So that's basically the three main ways to get engaged right now, depending on the level of interest that you have, time. And I'm here to answer any questions about all this information and all the process. So, any thoughts, questions? Yeah.
How do you know the overall range?
What do you mean overall?
You know, like,
yeah. We don't have any, we don't have like a preconceived idea. What we know is citywide guidance that we have from Blueprint. So that's the citywide guidance from the land use plan. And no, I think right now it's not as, I think the citywide guidance, that's what we're trying to figure out. Right now it reflects kind of the activity nodes and the commercial nodes that we currently have in the residential areas, the different corridors, but there's no like big idea or anything. I think that's what we want to figure out together. What are the priorities of your neighborhood? What are the priorities of the other neighborhoods? And as an area, help document all that. Yeah.
We could be working with CDOT because orders every Walmart.
Yeah, definitely. I think CDOT and especially I think federal. I know some of you at the beginning of the meeting were talking about BRT. So for those are the transit and federal, so definitely working with CDOT on that project, and then Sheridan on the other side as well. And in addition to that, so Sheridan is the edge of the city, right? So working with the other jurisdictions that I know a lot of the time, especially for this neighborhood, some of the Edgewater elements, all that stuff. It's part of our day-to-day, so also working with those jurisdictions.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I've never been on an advisory committee and I'm wondering what happens when people can't seem to agree about certain things. And do you guys do the mediating or, I mean, how does that work?
Definitely. So I think part of the advisory committee, we will have some like more intense discussions or we'll touch topics that maybe not everybody is in agreement, right? And I think part of that is in a lot of this processes, sometimes like through the same process, people hear similar perspectives with neighbors that might not be from the neighborhood, but share similar issues and then different perspectives. And people can either like through that conversation, like get to a point where the group agrees. And if not, definitely like mitigation and all that is in in the toolbox. But part of the group, the work of the advisory committee group is not to make the decisions, right? So what they are gonna be doing is making sure that through our work, we're hearing from their kind of like, not constituents, but like their neighborhood group, right? So it's not the advisory committee member is gonna be making the decision, but they're gonna be there to make sure that what we're hearing from our surveys and our input is what you all hear here, or what you all talk about, and help provide that guidance.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
So it sounds like.
Hey, what do you mean by that?
So you're going each neighborhood you know, and then it's out.
Yeah, that's a good point. So yeah, it's definitely, they are four unique neighborhoods, and we are grouping them together, right? So, to your question, like, no, we're not gonna be overlaying what they like or don't like into one thing, but we will be hearing from the different neighborhoods and elevating the similar concerns that people hear in each neighborhood to like an area-wide chapter of the plan. And then we do have neighborhood chapters where we're able to get more into the detail of the priorities of each neighborhood.
Would you say it's more to create cohesion between the neighborhoods rather than?
Yeah, definitely it's not like applying one solution fits all to all the neighborhoods. I think it's more about, we are definitely a neighborhood, but we are part of a greater area that, for example, in mobility is where this comes across more real, right? Like the connections don't stop at a neighborhood, but continue. And we're part of that greater area. And then we're part of the greater city of Denver as well. So we do want to get to hearing what makes this neighborhoods unique. And then what are some of those shared visions throughout the neighborhoods. Yeah.
Is the bus traffic transit.
It's not excluded, but since it's from CDOT, they're the ones working on that, but we'll be working with CDOT. They're working on to see, since they're further along in the process too, it's like our work is gonna be more, are the land uses that are in federal businesses, the elements, the feel and the look right now, what we wanna see with bus rapid transit, or do we wanna see something?
That's moving forward. This year, so.
Yeah.
And then it's like speed off and start with. Or that the city is going to do.
That I'm not completely sure, but I think it's. I'll need to check, but I think it's. Other questions or thoughts? Right. I'll be here and if you have any questions, I'll be handing some flyers and you have the website as well. Reach out if you have any questions.
Thank you for coming. Yes. Exciting stuff. Our next speaker tonight will be Dan Shah. He's going to talk about Denver Water, Lot M at Empower Field, and the potential conflicts with this plan. Hi, Dan.
Hi. Can everybody hear me okay?
Okay, I got a bunch of nods, so.
Okay, good. And then the other thing I was going to ask, I'm going to share my screen. And while I introduce myself, I'm Dan Shah from the West Colfax Business Improvement District. And I wanted to, let's see, documents. I'm just trying to share properly here.
Okay.
I might have to share my screen. Sometimes
Okay, you should be good to go.
do you have no, no, it does, yeah.
Pardon?
I'm just trying to pull up the document. Okay, here we
Oh,
go.
okay. You got it? Okay.
It's giving me Safari. It's not giving me all what I wanted, but
Oh, interesting.
okay, just one second.
Sure.
Okay, so um, anyway, I'm Dan Shaw from the West Colfax Business Improvement District, and I just want to ask before I even start with my presentation, how many people here have heard of I of the plan that Denver Water, anything about Denver Water's idea that they might locate immediately adjacent to the Colfax and Federal interchange.
Got a bunch of hands raised.
Okay. Well,
Almost
then
all of
maybe
them.
you guys are in it. Like, I can give you the brief version of this if I can ever get to where I want to go.
Let me know and I can try to do it myself.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to share that and then hope that I can. This is my messy page, but I think this should be. Can you see that?
Sure can.
Okay, all
There we
right.
go. That's better. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay, I don't know. There's too many. Okay, so this is basically something I'm going to go through it. It sounds like everybody's a little bit familiar with it, but so at West Colfax BID, I think you probably know that we did this, for many years, did a planning project with residents, people from different RNOs, including this one, to reconceive of Colfax and Federal. And then right now, it's in the hands of CDOT after a city planning process. Now, CDOT got a federal grant to study that. Okay, so that's kind of where we've been. And I'll come back to that in a second, but the concept here is that with the Denver Broncos moving to Burnham Yards, Denver Water there has a laydown yard, a yard that's used for storage of things and in the short term, kind of in industrial use. And that would have to be moved to accommodate the Broncos at the new location. This is the Lot M. Some of you may be familiar with it, but it's right to the south of the stadium on the south side of the viaduct, and you can see the embankment there on the left of that slide that this site immediately abuts. This is another visual of the swap in terms of Denver. The Broncos move here, boom, and then Denver Water moves there.
Can I interrupt you just for a moment, Dan?
Please.
Um, we have a request, and I'm assuming he's asking you if you can click on the slideshow button to make it full screen.
Oh, that's a great idea. There we.
Boom.
Wow, that's good thinking.
Yeah.
All
Thank
right. So
you.
should I go back? Do I need to go back at all? And
I think you're okay.
okay. Sorry, that was a good idea. I'm not exactly a tech whiz. Okay, so I think the the question here is how good of an idea is it that this is one idea that we had come up with community input for redeveloping Colfax and Federal. It's a huge amount of it's 29 acres. Um, we have in numerous plans as a community there's been a lot of input into this idea of redeveloping and doing something about Colfax and Federal to reintegrate it into the neighborhood. And this is not, West Colfax BID came up with this one idea here, with some planning and through a long process. But then there's been further planning with the city of Denver, and now it's in the hands of CDOT through Reconnecting Communities, a federal grant, $2.5 million grant. The uh, problem is that with the interchange the way it is as a sort of, in its current format is how dangerous it is. And this is something that we just did when we were studying this intensively for a period, just all the injuries and some fatalities, generally about a year, one a year in the vicinity of the interchange. It just creates an environment and that is incongruous to a residential neighborhood, an urban neighborhood. And so it just becomes one of the most dangerous intersections in the city. Um, and it's also the only non-interstate cloverleaf interchange in Denver. And that's it's also there's a lot of RTD activity, obviously. I mentioned the 29 acres. It's got a lot of potential for redevelopment. There are a lot of community priorities that went into the thought process around that. These are the planning processes that sort of support the idea of redeveloping it. I mean, the most important one relates to your earlier presentation from Fernando, which is, the West Area Plan. The West Area Plan, like that far northeast plan, definitely had something to say about this area. But going back to 2012, the Decatur Federal Station area of the plan, that was the first plan that said, hey, where the community really said, we don't want to be cut off, especially in Sun Valley, from the rest of the west side. Then the Stadium District Master Plan also. Then there was this city study. Then there's Blueprint Denver, and Denver moves everyone. So a lot of plans, and all of them point in the exact same way. And moreover, the zoning. The zoning there is for not an industrial use like what is being proposed and advancing really quietly, but it is for a higher density redeveloped. I mean, a community use of multi-stories, mixed use. And as I mentioned, CDOT has a federal grant. It's just about to begin. And, what would this do? And I just think that the risks are high, that if the that this goes forward, you're really impeding the potential options that could happen in the Colfax and Federal. It's an inconsistent use. It just undermines it almost takes the legs right out of the whole idea because it's an incompatible use right there. And so the ask here that I have sent in a letter form to Deb and to others is that we ask them to reconsider and look at other sites based on all of the considerations that we've been describing, mostly the planning and the equity considerations. And so that's my presentation. And then I thought if people had questions, I'd be happy to take those.
Okay.
And
I
I'm
think
sorry,
Tom's
can you even
gonna-
see me? It looks pretty
We
dark in
could
here.
before you still see you.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Um,
It's dark. Looks like I'm getting I could turn on a light.
okay. Got dark pretty quickly.
Okay,
Okay.
there we go. Here I am.
Tom, did you have a question?
Yeah. Currently, who owns
Currently, who owns Lot M?
Oh, excellent question, Tom. Thank you. It's a stadium district. property. So it's the Broncos, the Metropolitan Stadium football district is the owner of that land. And then that it gets into there's a lot of interest. I mean, maybe we don't need to get into it, but eventually that land will go to the city upon move. But the current proposal is to move it, is to accommodate Denver Water over here. And you can see actually how that serves the interest of the Broncos because, it allows for their new stadium location.
So we would be appealing to Denver Water basically to change their mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's an appeal to Denver Water, but the letter
Mhm.
is actually, it's more, and that's a very good question, Deb. So right now, it's really a political situation. I mean, ultimately, because of the zoning on this lot, it would have to go through planning board and then rezoning through the city council. So would be the process in order to have this location to change the use, to allow the use, I should say. And so that is and the idea of sending the letter now to the mayor and to because he's really also part behind it and the council is to really, show to that there's broad, really a lot of groups put a lot of time and effort into something that this is endangering, that this plan compromises in order to hopefully dissuade the powers that be, the stadium district, Denver Water, from advancing with this plan and look for somewhere else.
Yeah, yeah. They got a pretty sweet little deal going there with the Broncos, though. And but
You mean it's everybody's, yes.
yeah. So
We have one comment about it. Talk about it later. I'm Alessandra Dominguez on the Muslim Sandoval. We did become aware of this last week at Jefferson Park United Neighbors. We did get a hold of that letters that wasn't responded to this as well. And as far as I know, we haven't not just to go with that everything about it and doing research, but just
did you hear that, Dan?
I'm sorry. I apologize that I could not hear
The
you.
council's office is aware of it as of the last meeting with Michael Gates with J Punt.
Yes.
And they're just barely aware and they're.
So council in Sandoval is looking into it right now. Just want to let you know that we are aware of it. The fact is, it is technically in council district. It's
Okay.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear.
She was pointing out that it is technically District 3. But they're looking into it anyway. They're looking at this situation.
Yes.
And this is Alessandra, by the way. It's
Yes. Hi,
Councilman
Alessandra.
Sandoval's aide.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
It's really super that, I guess because of the whatever, it's the
The reverberation in
bandwidth or
this-
whatever.
in
It's hard
this-
to
yeah.
hear through.
Okay. Anybody else have questions? Tom?
Tom.
When they close this spot, if they do, a lot of that parking will be open for dealing with Salt Lake citizens who, since they it's not unpleasant.
When they close
When they
that
close the
power
spot,
field,
where those cars.
right? Those cars will go in the neighborhood. Because okay.
Well, yeah. Which lots? Are you're saying when the
You're talking, I think he's talking about Empower Campus. What are you referring to?
Well, Okay,
Oh, lot M?
they want to move the water.
Right.
In
Are you
here,
talking about lot?
so that they can make room for the new stadium. The existing stadium will still require parking that would have been in lot M, that would then go to the neighborhood.
Well, that's my question, like, what is the timeline for Denver Water moving there? Would this be after the Broncos leave, or would,
I mean,
this
I
wouldn't
don't
be,
think so. I don't think they can really begin the planning process in earnest until they know they have that land. So, my best guesstimate is my estimate. I mean, my assumption is, well, here's the thing. One of the things to know is that Denver Water actually pulled a site plan. And that's how this whole conversation got going. Now, whatever they pulled that back, but but anyway, they started the process. So they would have to go through a rezoning process that takes time. There's obstacles that are sort of like, these kinds of things would have to happen in order for them to be able to move. And then meanwhile, you have a whole planning process around the new stadium. So there's a lot of steps along the way. And so my thinking, and I believe that the case to be that that Denver Water does need to secure a place before it can really commit to leaving, and then they can get underway with that planning process. And then
right?
in order to do that, they need to rezone. So that's a process.
So we're talking a couple years out, maybe?
I mean, maybe I would think really a year. I wouldn't think it would be much more than a year
Oh,
before
wow.
this begins to be real. Yeah.
Okay, I learned something tonight. I didn't realize this was going to be happening while the Broncos were still playing at Empower Field. Oh my gosh. So what Tom is saying, all these people that would have been in Lot M will be in his neighborhood and a lot of people's neighborhood here
Oh, I
that are
see.
here
Yes.
tonight.
I mean, yes, I don't mean, but here, keep in mind that the actual move part, that can happen later, right? Because you can always sell the land over there at Burnham Yards and, sit there and then, you just need enough time to build it, sort of like it's a large, very large, but whatever they have, some kind of shed thing. And it's not that much to build, actually. So they could close on the land, do their planning process, and then wait a bit of time to move. So I don't exactly know when the
Okay,
people would when they would actually effect the move,
okay,
but you would still have to do all the,
right.
approvals, mostly the zoning.
What I'm hearing is that you're nipping this in the bud
That is
or
correct.
attempting to.
That
Okay,
is exactly right.
well,
You are
good.
so right. That is the idea.
Yeah,
The idea here is let's nip it in the bud because usually what happens is by the time it gets to the point where it's going to the planning board is there's a lot of momentum behind that. And there's a lot of pressure because you've got all these really influential people like the Denver Broncos, the mayor, there's a lot of people here who have a vested interest in seeing this through. And so I really do believe that our best opportunity is to nip it in the bud. Yes.
okay. Can you think of anyone who would be in favor of this move besides Denver Water? I'm just wondering
I
because
mean, I think that,
Booth and Penners, why would they be in favor of that?
I think if you're a real Broncos fan, you just don't want anything, right? Let's not impede it. So, you
Okay,
know, I mean, that's a person who's not thinking about the neighborhood, though. I mean, you know what I mean?
right,
Um, that's our
right.
job is to think about the locality,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm just wondering, you're asking us to sign the letter, and so I just kind of was
Yeah.
wondering who's this affecting negatively? Not too many people by not having Denver Water move to Empower Field.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean,
anyway,
I guess Denver Water, I mean, unfortunately, I think the reality is that Denver Water has to find a new place.
yeah,
So that's
that's
for sure.
yeah. We'll let them worry about that.
Yes, there are,
Um,
I believe there are options. Yes.
indeed. Does anybody have any other questions? You got your. Um, the slide that had the clover leaf. Do you have that slide handy?
Do you mean if I could send it over? This one?
He wants to see the aerial version of the plan of the clover leaf.
I mean, are you seeing my, oh, sorry.
You showed it
I'm sorry.
earlier.
I had to open it on Safari. I had it on Chrome. That's why.
Okay.
Okay, hang on just a
Yeah,
second.
that's a very interesting vision. It's definitely utilizing the space fully.
Yeah, I mean, it is, this is, I mean, this vision utilizes the existing bridge, the federal bridge. So that runs, sort of this, if you can see my cursor this way, and then
It might, yeah, might take a while to share it again, right? I mean,
oh, well, you're not seeing this? Hold on a sec. You are,
Stop sharing.
if I
you,
stop sharing.
okay, I can reshare, and I think that this time I should be able to
Okay.
do it a little bit more deftly, we hope. Slideshow. Ba-bum. Okay.
There we go. Hey,
Yeah, that was
nice.
better than last
Do the
time.
slideshow.
Okay,
Okay.
so that's the so yeah, so this vision has the reuses the bridge as sort of like a neighborhood street primarily, as a linear park or whatever was what we were calling it, and then diverts federal on one side in order to sort of push that to the side in a way, and to enable sort of a larger, more cohesive area.
So the other,
But this is one I mean I wouldn't want I mean I this was the one we came up with, but
okay.
there's a yeah.
There's Linda just asked about where is lot M in relation to this,
Oh
and
yeah.
you have a slide with that too.
Yeah, and then this is Lot M over on the right.
Oh,
And
okay.
one of the problems with Lot M is this. So any regrading of the viaduct at any point really impinges on Lot M. That's the thing. So really to do much of anything in the interchange, you have to do something with this grade. Can you see what I'm pointing at here?
Yeah.
And so that's the Lot M really one of the core issues, one of the issues with Lot M. The other issue just is the use as, incompatible to what you're trying to do there.
And then Jennifer, were you going to ask a question?
Yes, I'm sorry to see this happen again, because I know you put a lot of time into it. Can you tell us in this what if scenario, how much the city has invested in your vision, and how much are the citizens or taxpayers going to lose if Lot M goes to Denver Water instead of to the vision of it?
So is the question, if this Lot M goes, if Denver Water moves there, and then what is the sunk cost that we would be losing in terms of envisioning the redeveloped
I
and
think she asked
redesigned?
how much the city has spent on over the Clover
Yeah.
project.
Yeah, so we spent, so just the bid itself spent, you know, uh, I should know this number in particular, but I think it was about, let's just say 250,000. But then through foundation money, and then the city of Denver spent 500,000 on a planning process. That's referenced in one of these. That's the plan that I shared, one of the plans. And then now there's 3.5, 4.5, I'm sorry, 2.5, 2.5 million that has been awarded to CDOT from the feds.
Did you hear that?
So, something like 3.5, a little less than 3.5 million.
Routes and then
I'm sorry.
Yeah, here, but what is your guess as to how much the
Total.
taxpayers will lose?
Total
I mean, the to-
taxpayer loss.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I think the in round more than $3 million. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good point.
it does. This is a good.
Yeah, I think it's 3.1, and then more foundation money, like than that even with the money that we received was foundation money.
Any other questions? No? Dan, thank you for joining us. We will be in touch.
Okay. Well,
And
thank you for your time.
when did you want that letter signed by?
Well, I mean, actually, I mean, if you guys decide to do that, then there's a link you can just that shows.
Okay, there wasn't a cutoff time for that? Wasn't there a cutoff time?
Oh yeah, the 8th. The 8th
The
is the
8th
time
of
that
May.
we've given. Yeah, the 8th of
Okay.
May. Mhm.
All right.
All right.
Thank you so much. And oh wait,
Well, thank you.
Clayton has his hand raised. Just a minute. Clayton?
Yeah, I appreciate the presentation. I was curious, do you know, so with the Denver water move, are they looking to do a laydown yard there?
Yes,
Or is it, okay,
100%.
so they're
A
not going
laydown
to use it for an admin building or something that's at least more dense and has people in it. It's a
Yeah, it's
a
not
laydown
even
yard.
an admin building. I've seen the site plan. It's really just it's not a shed. It's a long rectangular. It's what they have. It's the part of the site that they're going to move, but it's basically a very long shed that you can store, pipes in, and then the outdoor area for all, there's also outdoor storage, and then parking. I mean, that's the totality of it. So there's no, yeah.
Oh, that was a great question because I didn't know what they were, what they were putting there. Sheds and parking.
Right. Sheds, parking, and then just storage, outdoor storage.
Okay. All right, folks, you better move
Okay.
on. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you very much,
Again.
everybody. Good to see you all. I've recognized many of you. Okay. Bye now.
Bye. How about Alessandra Dominguez with Amanda Sandoval's office will fill us in on her updates. It's been slow tonight, so. Hey, that's all I have to say.
Alessandra Dominguez, I'm an aide for Councilman Sandoval's office. So here are some updates for you. Each month we do community office hours. We already had our ones on the 10th, but we do have some upcoming on the 24th. There are only 2 slots left. So if you want to sign up now. We also have office hours coming up in May. Those get published in our newsletter on May 1st. We also send this out ahead of time to Deb and Tom. So if you want to mark your calendars off to meet with your one-on-one and have me be there too. So some exciting news, the Vibrant General Obligation Bond got approved by voters. Moving forward, there is an online dashboard now available for all the projects that did get approved. So if you use this link, you can go online and see where all of those bond projects are in their project timeline. For example, West 38th Avenue, that's in its initiation phase with 5 million being released out of that 55 million. It's just the initiation phase. It's just the first tranche. You can also track the Sloan's Lake project on that dashboard and see where it is in all of its phases. Some exciting news, the Barraza Park grand reopening is taking place Friday, May 1st at 1 p.m. So that's that park on 38th that's been under construction for a year. We're gonna have a super awesome event. I'm sure it's gonna be awesome weather. It went through a lot of upgrades. So there's a new playground, new irrigation system, new landscaping. There's new lighting in the kiosko, which just looks like magic at night, honestly. So if you have time, if you're around, please come by Friday, May 1st, 4:30 p.m. I'll also be there. I'm going to be the MC, and Councilman Sandoval is going to speak. So if you want to see even more, here's your chance. The registered neighborhood organization report recently got released. So that went over groups like Sloan's Lake Citizens Group. That is legislation run by council members Gonzalez Gutierrez and Cashman. I will just tell you right now, the key takeaways on page 74. It's over 100 pages long. If you want to, you can read all of them, but the key takeaways are on page 74. You can also give feedback online. They're in their feedback from the report phase. They will also be presenting at our annual RNO dinner, a registered neighborhood organization dinner that Councilman Sandoval puts on each year. And that's actually going to be next Thursday, April 30th. So Tom and Deb have all that information. If you would like to join us, please just let me know. I'll add you, and we will have them as well as Sidewalk presenting, and Colorado Coalition for Homeless and Denver Housing Authority presenting on the redevelopment federal. So it's going to be super exciting, and there will be food, and of course me. So you can see me more. Each year we do a park cleanup. So usually we tell you where to go. This year we want to tell us where to go. So if you want to get your phone out, you can scan that QR code. Last time I checked, there were 6 entries for Sloan's Lake. There were 6 entries for Berkeley. Those are the top 2. So I don't know how you guys want to handle the tie breaking, but that's going to be Saturday, September 19th. If you sign up and show up, really appreciate show up. The Federal and the Oriental have agreed to donate tickets for free shows. So come by, clean a local park, and get a free show out of it. We have some contacts for Denver Police Department. That includes the commander and the lieutenant, as well as your CROs. This is going to be updated because, luck would have it, both Technician Reyes and Technician Sanchez are pregnant at the same time, and one of them's already on the screen, another one is about to go. So we will have updated information for your community resource officers. Those are the officers that interact directly with community. So they are, they're super crucial. They come to meetings often and give like statistics and all of that. They help with the neighborhood. Super hyperlocal. So some things I go over each month. The DOTI Advisory Board meeting, that stands for Department of Transportation and Infrastructure. That occurs the second Tuesday in each month at 4 p.m. via Zoom. So that is anything like sidewalks, traffic lights, stop signs, potholes, trash, compost, recycling. If you would like to sign up for public comment, please do so. We meet with our appointee each month to tell him what we hear in community, tells us what he's heard at the meetings, and we really have a great partnership. And actually, our very own of Sloan's Lake, Alan Calgill, is currently the appointee for this advisory board. Moving on, we have Parks and Rec Advisory Board. Right there in the title, Parks and Rec. I know it's initiated, but Parks and Rec. Second Wednesday of each month at 5:30 p.m. via Zoom. And we actually have 2 appointees that live in District 1. And we also meet with them each month to tell them what we've heard. They tell us they've heard. There is usually a Denver Police Department Commander Advisory Group meeting. Not this month. They will resume in May. They're in person only. That's just moving forward. They used to be hybrid. Now they're only in person. Just a little fun fact that I also go over each month. Every resident has 3 council members. Of course, you have Councilwoman Sandoval, but you also have 2 at-large members, and those would be Council Members Parity and Council Members Gonzalez Gutierrez. And then if you are not signed up for a survey and you want to scan the QR code, you can sign up right now. We release our newsletter the first of each month. It has all this information, a little bit more even, because this is meant just for you exclusively. So each neighborhood gets a little bit of a different slide deck. But if you want to see things that are happening more large scale across the district please sign up for the newsletter, and then that way you don't have to wait for me to tell you when community office hours are. So you can sign up for them on the 1st. Does anybody have any questions? So I have to check with them because they alternate. I'm not sure if they're starting off from where they left off or if they're trying to stay on cadence with their schedule. So last I heard they are still deciding, but if you have more up-to-date information. Then.
At the last meeting,
Okay.
They're asking about the CAD meeting and what time it would be because it alternates between,
10 a.m.
And
and
then-
6 p.m.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then Clayton, do you have a question or is that an old hand raise? I guess. Okay, Tom,
Old, sorry.
that's okay.
Going north on Sheridan, after you go under I-70, it looks like they're doing some work on the Willis Case Golf Course. Is that the long awaited for and prayed for sidewalk? Or are they
It is
just
and it isn't.
moving the
Yes, there is sidewalk work being done near Willis. We were originally promised that would go all the way to 52nd. For one reason or another, it is going to 49th. That is not what we advocated for. We were very clear that we wanted it to go to 52nd. I honestly don't have an explanation from the city as to why the funds are not available to go all the way to 52nd. So it is going to 49th.
And do you, I know it's in District 3, but it also looks like they're doing some sidewalk work on Sheridan, just north of Colfax. There's the old Walgreens and then that building with the studio apartments and the next single family home. You've dug it all up and widened it so the sidewalk will continue, but then there's a vacant lot. Will it die there? Which is a real waste of money. It dies there.
Yeah, I'm not sure because as you did say, it is in District 3. So I don't have all the information. If you're able to send an email or call Councilman Torres's office, they will have much more information on that project than I would because it is in their district. But I would really have to look into it. But I believe they would have the information available.
I took some great pictures of.
I
In
believe it, you're a
progress.
photographer. You've got all the angles down.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Thank you, Alessandra. I can ask you while you're sitting down. First of all, I'm going to go ahead and just mention this because I forgot to put it in my slides that tomorrow night is actually Earth Day and Sloan's Lake Park Foundation is going to be having a gathering at Little Man Ice Cream on Colfax. And I'm sure that they'll have a lot of good information and I'm going to be there. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I'm going to start with you. You said the tranche of 500,000 was given to, I guess, Denver Parks and Rec. Right? Not 500,000, not 500,000. How much was the first tranche? Okay. So they're giving the money out for the bond to improve Sloan's Lake environmental things in tranches of I don't know how many, but the first one, it seemed like it was 500,000.
I believe that is.
Yeah. And so I was just wondering, do you get information about what they're doing? And do they actually have that money and they're doing, like, I'm just wondering, so what's going on with it now that they have some money? Is that a question for, is that something you can look into? Or I could always ask them tomorrow too. Hit them up. What's going on?
So it's taking a second. to load.
That's okay.
So. She only announced it. That's just. You do the design.
Okay, okay. I'll ask you my other question the next time I see. We need to move on. Thank you. I just wanted to, how many gardeners are here tonight? Okay, a few. Okay, so you all know that there are seeds in the back that some of us brought. And also, since you might be into gardening, you might enjoy this Denver Resilient Landscapes on the CSU Spur campus, and it looks very interesting. And I think they're giving away seeds also. And I think you can chime in on what plants you'd like to see them using in new developments. So that's a reason to go as far as I'm concerned. Give a little input about that. So that looks pretty good. I wanted to point out quickly that we have a combined happy hour on May 6th. And this is with Sloan's Lake Citizens Group and Jefferson Park United Neighbors, who are obviously in Jefferson Park. And Ephemeral is a new tap room in Jefferson Park. So join us on May 6th. And I wasn't given the time, but I believe it's 5 p.m. Just stay tuned. We'll be advertising it more. 5 till 7. Thank you. Okay. So join us. That'll be fun. And then Keith, I guess I could share this real quick. Keith from INC, they are doing another film fest this year. Truth Be Told is the movie. It's at the Elitch Theater in North Denver. And it is on May 21st at 5:30 p.m. And we're gonna be a co-host, and that's how they earn money for this. I think the public goes for free. So, and they're gonna have a tour of the old Elitch Theater, which to me will be amazing. A historic tour. So be sure and go to that. That should be pretty good. And for those gardeners, well, actually, we wanted to talk about a few things that we do for Earth Day. And how many people here use Ridwell? 2, 3, and I do too. And I just wanted to talk about it. I don't want to sound like I'm an ad. The reason I'm talking about it is because there is so much plastic, as you know. You can't get rid of it, but I got Ridwell, and I can give away a lot of my plastic film and multi-layer plastic. And I would not be without Ridwell because I fill up those bags. And then for the monthly subscription, you can, they'll come pick up your plastics twice a month, and they give you these little bags, and then they give you bigger bags for your plastics. You can give them your used light bulbs, your batteries, your dead batteries. And they also have every month other things that they just have something different every month outside of these things that they will pick up. And they, then for a little bit more money, they'll pick up, styrofoam and all kinds of things. I wouldn't be without it. My suggestion, for me, like $20 is kind of a lot, but a month, but it's so important to me to make sure that the plastic is being recycled properly. And so much of the plastic that Ridwell takes, Denver won't take. So, you know, a way around it is like Tom here and I do a little bartering. And also you can, I'll tell you about that in a minute, but you can also like invite your neighbors to share the cost with you. And you would just have the bin on your porch and these go in the bin, little bin, and they just come pick it up. And you can, like I said, that'll help with the money too. Like if you just have your neighbors help you with the cost. I just think it's the best thing ever.
And recently, Denver Compost, because they were getting weird stuff in there, said that we're no longer taking like paper napkins, paper towels, the greasy pizza boxes and that kind of stuff. So I joined a group called Scraps, and they don't come pick up at your door, but I joined with Deb, and I'm paying the $21 a month for this. And we load up my big bin and I take it out. It's at the drop-off point is at the Wheat Ridge Rec Center at Kipling and just north of 38. And so about once a month, I'll take my stuff plus some other stuff, which I don't generate what I feel is $21 worth. It went from 17 to 21, but it gets rid of all that stuff that would go to the landfill. And all of it is, you know, compostable. So if it goes to the landfill, all it does is become methane. That's not a good thing.
So that works out pretty well. We can just share those things. So I highly recommend. And then for your gardeners, I brought some seeds back there, and they are Cleome cellulata. They're the Rocky Mountain bee plant. And the reason I'm talking about this is there's a bunch of packets back there, and if you want to try something to help the pollinators, that is the ticket. So this here is a picture of some native bees. This is fall sunflower. So if you plant the Rocky Mountain bee plants and then add sunflowers with that, let those grow together, the bees just, it's ridiculous how many different kinds of bees. You guys know we have 900 and something native bees in Colorado. And then there's, right. And that in addition to the honeybee, which is European. So anyway, these are some of my favorite organizations. And those seeds, I think you'll really like the Cleome. This is what the Cleome looks like, this pink here.
And they're about this tall.
Yeah, Mm-hmm. And you would have to kind of dedicate a little corner, or you won't regret it. Mine, I plant outside my kitchen window and just stare at all the bee activity, bumblebees, and all kinds of native bees, and sometimes hummingbirds. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about these things, given we have Earth Day happening. And I guess the last thing is Sloan's Lake was voted one of the 4 best bird watching sites in Denver. And among some of the birds you'll see are osprey, yellow-rumped warbler, belted kingfisher, and osprey. And it's kind of interesting in here. Osprey is Old Latin for bone breaker. So look out, fish. I think that's an osprey hauling a fish away. That he doesn't look very happy either. Notice. You see the bald eagle? Yes, I do too. I do too. Walk in the evenings. There's owls. Yep. It's a great place to bird watch. So I just wanted to add that. And then also, this is migration season for the birds, and just please be mindful that city lighting can confuse the birds and they can perish because they lose their way when they get confused. So be mindful of your outdoor lighting. It's really important to not have too much of that, if any. And that's all I have. Anybody else? Anybody have anything? Does anybody have any ideas of what they'd like to see Sloan's Lake Citizens Group present or look into, or any event that might be fun or anything like that? If you do, let us know if you think of anything. And I'm kind of curious, why did some of you come tonight? We have the new faces, or people that don't come as often. What brought you here? Just, oh, okay. Welcome, welcome. This is great.
I just moved from Berkeley.
Welcome from Park Hill. You know what's funny? Yeah, welcome. I always think I'm going to move to Park Hill. Anybody else want to chime in?
Yes.
You moved to the neighborhood too? Wonderful. Welcome. It's great to see you all. Tell your neighbors too. I guess, during COVID, Sloan's Lake Citizens Group participation really declined. So it's coming back and it's really exciting. Yay. So thanks for being a part of it. And I hope you all have a wonderful evening. I think we're actually finishing up a few minutes early, so consider yourself lucky. Sometimes we go over and we don't mean to. So anyway, like I said, help yourself to any snacks you want to take home, any seeds. And let's see, our next meeting will be, I believe it's the 19th of May. And we might be talking about data centers for one of our subjects. So as a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure we will. Would that be of interest to people here in this group? Great. I think it's probably specific data centers and Globeville and Swansea. So. Yes, her name is Lauren, but I don't know her last name. And she presented at yeah, and she was just here, but she looks like she must have left. So yeah. Why do you ask? Any reason? Oh, okay. Yeah, so this is going to be really good. I'm looking forward to hearing what she has to say.
So was the data center part of the response to, or did they just come in?
I don't think so. I think it's pretty new thing. So I don't think it's part of the city's kind of like uses. I think that's
The city needs to find its own.
yeah, I think it's such a new use that
maybe
it's
it's not.
It did qualify as a use by the rate, and it is so new. Legislation or against this was already in process, so there's
What's scary is I heard that this is one hand replicated right next door. They double like almost 1/3. This is the first third.
And if you want to get involved with Sloan's Lake Citizens Group, by gosh, let us know. We'd love to have you. And we're looking for committees too, if you have any committee ideas. Woo! Yeah. So cheap. Yeah, or an environmental. Okay, well, guess, maybe I'll see them at Amanda's dinner. And, that's nice that she's making room for the public to come along. That's wonderful.
And it's
Yeah.
at least if
Yes, it is. But I do ask for this.
Oh, okay.
you've got.
Yes, I do have.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to hearing about that development on I-70 and Federal. So she's gonna give a lot more details about that.
Yes.
That's exciting, although I don't know if you've been on next door, some people aren't as excited, but
Yeah. We don't. It's just.
it is messy. It is messy. I wish I didn't get those emails that sort of drag you in and then you're just like, why did I just do
They range me.
that? Me too. Thanks again, everybody. Sure.
I think.
Oh, are you gonna be, so are you gonna
This
be?
was,
Yep. Oh, have you been waiting? Like-
no, but I
I'm glad you
noticed it.
stayed.
No, it's good to get to know what's happening, so.
So are you gonna be?
Yeah.
Oh,
The project is,
okay.
yeah, and I'll be at the dinner. Sharing this information with the other.
Because a lot of those people, yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them have it already, some don't.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so it'll be good, we'll be each other as a